Ladies and gentlemen, our Super Eagles face Uganda in their final group match of the 2025 AFCON tournament, a match whose results will not affect the position of our Super Eagles on top of Group C. And we are going to quickly check out the euphoria and aura around our Super Eagles team going into this evening match, same as our Plausible 11 against Uganda. Before I proceed with the details of the stories coming up, quickly let's do it together. Subscribe to the channel, hit on the post notification bell for more updates. Let's show love to our very own Super Eagles and the 2025 AFCON tournament by liking this video. Please, there is no country and team like Nigeria and the Super Eagles supporting in this AFCON tournament. So let's show love to them by liking this video and sharing to other social media platforms. As usual, my name still remains Solomon Kweju Asante, your only nomenclature with engineer's philosophy in sports. A Ghanaian who has declared his full support for Nigeria sports with a Nigerian name, the only one, Solomon Chukwu Emeka. Please do well to drop your decent prediction in the comment box. As to what you think the game will be, leave it decently in the comment box. Subsequently, I will give you special shout-outs. Omo, Baba, straightforward. Let's get into the video and start from the camp of our very own Super Eagles in their final Group C game against the Cranes of Uganda. God willing, 4 p.m. Ghana time, 5 p.m. Nigeria time at the First International Sports Stadium. One of the budgy sides for the Super Eagles in this AFCON tournament, same as previous matches, is Uganda, of which is going to be very tightly contested. Statistically, with records, I've already given it out on this platform. But let me reiterate, in the past 8 matches, we've won 2 games against Uganda, they've won 4 games against us, and 2 games have ended up in a draw, meaning they are going to be very worried to the Super Eagles in this evening game. But who knows? Let's go in with the maximum power, efforts, and energy that we have. I've spoken about what to expect from Eric Sekuchel, same as the Super Eagles of Nigeria in this evening's game. But before that, let's check out the euphoria around the Ugandan national team. A player in the name of Ukechukwu Ikweazu has spoken about this evening game against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He was born in England to a Nigerian father and Ugandan mother. Along the line, he decided to switch his allegiance to that of Uganda, just rejecting Nigeria. He is a striker and he has spoken out. He said he doesn't know whether he will celebrate if he scores against Nigeria or not. Let's enjoy this bit of moments ahead of this evening game against Uganda from their striker, who is of Nigerian descent, Uche Aku-Azu.
Yeah, I'm obviously happy. It keeps us our dreams alive of qualifying out of the group, so I'm happy about that. But obviously, you want to win the game. So if I could win the game and not score, that would have been my preference. But listen, I scored, and we all know that we have to do the business tomorrow against Nigeria. Well, you know, that's my I'm half Nigerian. That's where my dad's from. So of course, there's going to be an emotional attachment. There's always going to be that, but I have an emotional attachment to Uganda as well, and I play for Uganda, so I'll be hoping to beat Nigeria. So Dad, I'm sorry. That's from Delta. Yeah, that's from Delta State. Yeah. Do you know what? You know, in football sometimes your emotions get the better of you. So I don't know. I'll see how it goes, but I don't have any planned celebrations or anything like that. But if I scored, that'd be wonderful. But yeah, the most important thing is to get the 3 points. It's amazing, considering last season I was out for almost a year, and I had to work extremely hard to get back. And you know, you want to play at the highest level possible, and obviously, you know, I've overcome so much trials and tribulations. So to play in the Africa Cup of Nations has always been a dream of mine, like I said. So yeah, it's amazing, but I have a lot of desire to progress through the next round. I don't want the journey to finish. You know, I feel like it's just getting started. Yeah.
So these are some of the exciting moments around the game. Now let's talk about what to expect from Eric Sekuchel, same as the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I spoke about strategic rotation. This is the very best chance for us to see the bench power within the Super Eagles team. Of course, we have to build our squad depth with confidence, and this is the time that we've seen some players within the team. We've already qualified. Not only qualifying, but we've topped Group C. So no matter the result, it is not going to affect the position as the leader of Group C of the 2025 AFCON tournament. So we have to try new players especially the bench women and the French players. And this is the right time. I think we have to strategize with that rotation. Even ahead of the game, Eric Sekuchel spoke about it when he was being asked as to the rotation within the team in the final game against Uganda. Let's enjoy this part from Eric Sekuchel, and let me proceed with other expectations from the Super Eagles and Eric Sekuchel.
Coach, would you massively rotate your team in the next game versus Uganda?
Yes or no. Maybe. And we will see. The most important thing is the group. This is not a competition for 11 starts or 11 players. So everybody deserves to have a change, to show something, because sometimes the guy who only played just 5 minutes in the AFCON or in a tournament can bring the victory, who can make the last goal, who can score the last goal. So this is not a question about the lack of respect about the tournament. For me, I want to put the best team at this moment. Yeah, for sure, I want to win. The player wants to win. Everybody wants to win this game.
So that is nice revelation coming in from Eric Sekuchel. I spoke about retrying Francis Zohu this time around because standing Nwabali, we can't just put our efforts, energy, and whatever you think it should be in this AFCON tournament within him. And this is the best moment we can try out new players going into the final group games so that we can get to know that when you have injuries, when you have suspensions, and when you want to vary our tactics, we can get other players to augment or strengthen those positions. So these are some of the exciting revelations coming from my side, of which Eric Sekuchel has also hinted on that. Now, let's talk about we protecting the yellow card crew. Yesterday, I spoke about 4 players who are 1 yellow card away from suspension. And if it happens so, meaning they will not be going to play in the round of 16. And you know that when you get to knockout stage of any major tournament or any tournament, you'll be kicked out if you lose automatically. And this is the time we can put our efforts and energy in the hands of any other person. Just going into the final group matches with the other players who can help us augment our squad, but going into the round of 16 with the players that are very reliable. At this moment, Stanley Nwabali is having yellow card. Victor Osimhen is having yellow card. Ademola Lookman is having yellow card. Semi Ajayi is also having yellow cards. We have 4 Super Eagles players within that team, of which they are on the 10 eyes at this moment, going into the round of 16. So we can exempt them or exclude them from this evening game against Uganda. So that is it from what I think we protecting the yellow card crew will be. Now, this is the time you have to fix the 70% fade at this moment. No matter what, the Ugandan national team, they are coming in with everything in order to get qualification into the round of 16. They have 1 point, and a win against the Super Eagles will propel them to the round of 16, because you've seen other countries who have been eliminated, the likes of Zambia, the likes of Comoros, other countries, they've been eliminated with 2 points. So they having 1 point. If they're able to get 3 points in addition, they'll be getting 4 points, of which they'll be firing on all cylinders to at least get victory this evening against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And getting into the latter part, they'll be pressing us. We should anticipate for that. That is where we have to face the 70 minutes fade that we had against Tunisia. They coming in to cause upset for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And this is the time we go in with the very best of talent that we have. Now, I spoke about we hunting for 100% perfection. That is getting 9 out of 9 points. Yes, this evening game is going to be tightly contested for the Super Eagles with the record statistics that I have given out. But if you're able to get the 9 maximum points in the group, our next opponent will be scared. And you go in with confidence that no matter what, even if you don't have the best of talents, as in the reliable players within our first 11, coming in with French players and bench women, securing 3 points in addition to the 6 points, making it 9 points for us. definitely we can go in with other matches, trusting all these players within the Super Eagles team because we have 28 players in camp. And so far, so good. I stand to be corrected. We've tried like 16 to 17 players. Remaining other players that you have to test them against Uganda. In as much as you're testing these players, you have to know how to blend them together to get the best results for us. Now, let me draw my conclusion on the Super Eagles plausible 11 this evening against the Cranes of Uganda. I will start with Francis Uzoho. I have already given out explanation as to what and why I think Francis Uzoho should start ahead of Stanley Nwabali, same as Amos Obasoji, because at this moment, if we have injuries and suspension coming in from the goalkeeping department, reliable one we have at this moment is Stanley Nwabali, who again, and in camp, you only have two others, talking of Amos Obasoji and that of Francis Uzoho. With the experience he has gotten so far within the Super Eagles team, I think he should start this evening game for the Super Eagles. At the right back position, we've tested Bright Usai Samuel. He's very tired. Let him rest for the game against Mozambique. That is what I'm tipping to be. If it is so, then Ryan Alebiesu has to start the game for the Super Eagles for us to see whether if you don't have Bright Usai Samuel, he can be a good fit for the Super Eagles. So that is that for the right back position. With the left back position, I think, as I stated, in as much as we are bringing in French players, same as bench warmers, we should also come in with players that can blend them together for us to know how best they can deliver. This time around, I will go in for Bruno Onyemaechi to start ahead of Zaidu Sanusi. I'm not much impressed with the matches so far from Zaidu Sanusi with respect to the Super Eagles team, especially with our friendly game against Egypt, same as our first game against Tanzania. So I will start Bruno Onyemaechi ahead of Zaidu Sanusi. In the center pair of defense, I will go in for Calvin Bassey and Chidozie Awazia. We have other players that you can try because Semi Ajayi, I've already spoken about him, that he's on a 10 eyes, yellow card away from suspension, and we can't risk him going into the round of 16, so he should be out. Starts Calvin Bassey. Calvin Bassey partnering Chidozie Awazia. This time around, I want to see their performance and the synergy between these two players. Igor Obu can come in later to display for us to know how best he can fit into the Super Eagles center-back position. But these are my preferences in terms of the telepathy between Calvin Bassey and Chidozie Awazia. Now let's move to the midfield. Yes, we can't take out the leadership role from the game against Uganda. We have to get one of the exciting players who can command the players on and off the pitch, especially during first half, after first half, and coming in for second half. And this is where we have to start our Capitano, Wilfred Ndidi. I think he has to start the game to maintain the command of the team through the first minutes into the 90 minutes of Soccer Fiesta. And this time around, I don't want Alex Iwobi to start the game. Maybe latter part of the game, he can be introduced. But I just want Ebenezer Akin Samiru to start the game for the Super Eagles, having his debut game for the Super Eagles competitively. I think we want to see more of who he is and how progressive he'll be on the field if you don't have Alex Iwobi within the team. So that is it from the central midfield position. So Ebenezer Akin Samiru, to my preference, should partner Wilfred Ndidi. Moving into the attacking midfield position, this time around, I will start Fisayo Dele Bashiru. I was thinking of partnering Wilfred Ndidi with Raphael Onyedika, but I wanted Ebenezer Akin Samiru to start the game for us to see what he can prove to us, so that later on in the game, we can introduce Raphael Onyedika. And away from that is Fisayo Dele Bashiru. Initially, I was thinking of he starting as a winger of the team because we saw him as a winger for the Super Eagles in our pre-AFCON friendly game against Egypt. But I think his preferred position, if he's indeed coming to play this competitively for the Super Eagles, then he has to start as an attacking midfielder. With Samuel Chukwueze as my right winger, I will start Chidera Ejike. I'm not much impressed with the sub on so far for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And Chidera, if you are to start the game this evening, you should know what is at stake. In as much as we are topping Group C, no matter the results from this evening game. You also have to prove to us that no matter what, if you don't have other players, reliable ones indeed, within the Super Eagles team, you can prove to us that you can get the best results for the Super Eagles. So I think he should start as a left winger. And the man to lead up front for the Super Eagles should be Paul Onuachu. Let's test him. That if you don't have Victor Osimhen, is he reliable enough to play for the Super Eagles? These are the players I think should start for the Super Eagles. Let me quickly go through the list or the squad starting for the Super Eagles from my preference for you. Francis Uzoho in the post. Right back, Ryan Alebiasu. Left back, Bruno Onyumechi. Center pair, Calvin Bassey, Chidozie Awaziam. In the middle, I want to see Wilfred Ndidi with Ebenezer Akinsameru. To some extent, we can have Raphael Onyedika. In the attacking midfield, I want to see Fisayodele Bashiru. At the right side of attack, as in right wings, I want to see Samuel Chukwu Eze. At the left wing position, I want to see Chidera Ejuke, and the man to lead the attack for the team should be Paul Onuachu. So that is it. You can also share your decent comments in the comment box as to whether you resonate with my preference as to the player starting for the Super Eagles. Leave it decently in the comment box. It still goes Super Eagles, go Nigeria. No matter what, you try as much as you can to give you all the live feeds on this platform, as others are looking for the app to enjoy the game on. I've already addressed to you that you can enjoy on Maker Football. Others are calling for the links to be pinned in the comment box or description box. On YouTube, we have restrictions based on links and streaming apps, and there is no way we can just rec the channel for that. That is why verbally I've spoken about what it should be. Just go to Play Store or App Store and download Maker Football. Maker as in M-I-K-A with football, and enjoy every bit of moments with the Super Eagles and that's of Uganda national team. Before I take a leave of you with the live feeds around 3 to 4 Ghana time or 4 to 5 Nigeria time on this platform, let me quickly give special shout out to these amazing commenters. Special shout out to Nathan, I do appreciate your support. Special shout out to Maruf Agbola, I do appreciate your support. Isaac, I do appreciate your support. Special shout out to Orun. Okay, let me just take my time. Olorunfomi Julius, I do appreciate your support. Special shout out to David Godby, I do appreciate your support. Special shout out to Pahien Homin, I do appreciate your support. Other top commenters in this comment section, let me just check out the name and give special shout out to 1 or 2 people and take a leave of you and come back with other shout outs. Omanu, I do appreciate your support. Special shout out to Johnson, I do appreciate your support. Peter Osai, I do appreciate your support. Leonard Colonel, I do appreciate your support, and other commenters under my previous videos. I was being supported by my hardworking chief editor, Emmanuel Kwame Asiedu, and my amazing graphic designer, Dominic. Let's meet in the next one. Until you meet again, it's still go Super Eagles, go Nigeria. Bye-bye.